Okay, Discord family, welcome to options class 5. At this point, you should have watched options class 1, 2, 3, and 4, taken all of the quizzes and watched all of the reviews. We're going to go over some terms that we need to understand so we can know about selling put options. And then as we finish this lesson, quiz, and then review, we'll move on to the technical analysis class. Now, without further ado, let's start. So, selling put options. This is what this one is all about. Let's get some common terminology. The first one is, what is a put option? Think of a put option like the option or a contract to sell stocks. So you can buy this contract or you can sell this contract. And it's a contract about selling stocks. But we'll get to that even further. But again, I imagine at this point in lesson 5, you've already gone through 1 through 4. So we can have some common terminology. But I'll keep you up to speed. So again, this is all about teaching you how to fish. So let's get it. Now, we need to have some, again, terms, vocabulary. A premium. This is the cost of the option. So this is the important part about why people sell options, particularly the billionaires and the people who have trillion-dollar companies. When they sell put options, they're just trying to use all of their money, their cash, to collect premiums. Now, let's see. Why do people sell put options? Again, it's to collect premiums as the stock price rises generally. So when you buy a put, you expect the stocks to come down. So then you can make money that way. But when you sell a put, you make the most profit when the stock goes up. Okay, now let's keep it going. Here's an example of Robinhood and Webull. And what we're looking at are these green rectangles. And these, I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want to show you that these are representative of premiums, right? So when you look at put options, notice on Robinhood, you'd be on sell and then put. This is a forward put option, right? Sell a put. Notice you can collect $51. It says 51 cents, but you multiply this, right? Move the decimal point over twice. It's $51 by basically January 28th if you were to sell this put option, right? Now, let's keep looking. The 19.5 strike, you can collect $36. The $19 strike, $25. The 18.5, $17. So you can think of selling put options kind of in a way of collecting dividends on your money, but on steroids. Think of it like that. Because, and I'll get to the breakdown as to what I mean with that too. So take a look at this. On Webull, I always tell you, it's the same thing, just the buttons are in different spots and the numbers are in different spots. So on Robinhood, we have it listed. The strike price is 20 all the way down, right? High, 20 to low. And notice the $20 strike will give you $51 in premium if you were to sell this put. So now take a look at this. On Webull, it's just low to high. So the low is up here and the 20 is down here. So they're the same. They're just, the interface is just different. And the same price is true. So it says in the middle of this 50 and 51, that's where the true price is of the premium, which again is that 51. That's what Robinhood is showing you right here. So on both, they're exactly the same. Just the buttons are in different spots. So now, here we go. What does collecting premiums get you? First of all, it gets you the cash. That is the premium. Right? And again, what do I mean by that? If you sell a $20 put, you would collect this $51 in buying power straight up into your buying power in your account. If you sell the 19.5 strike, you would collect $36 in your buying power. But remember, you don't get something for nothing. You have to put something up in order to collect. You have to take some risk in order to collect this premium. But let's get to that. So the first thing, what does collecting premiums get you? It gets you the cash. And then the second thing that it gets you in a contract where you agree to be sold 100 shares if the stock price falls enough. Remember, you want the stock price, if you're selling puts, you generally want the stock price to rise. But if it falls and you know what, you get basically assigned, in this case, someone exercises it in a contract, it'll get you in a contract where you agree to be sold 100 shares if the stock price falls enough. So if you sell a put, you have to be comfortable on the other end of it, where you would be comfortable with owning 100 shares of that particular stock at the strike price that you picked. So for example, let's say we went back up here to this $20 put, and we'll go over it again so you can really get and understand this. If you sold the $20 put, right, then you need to be comfortable with potentially owning 100 shares of Ford at $20 a piece. If you were okay with that, then you would collect the $51, but you would only be on the hook for this until January 28th. And then you would either get to keep all of your money and the premium, or you would just have the stocks at a $20 average. Okay, so now let's keep it going. Let's get down and more granular with it. Let's get to a formal definition. Writing a cash secured put, this is what this is about. What does it mean? It means you're giving someone the ability to sell 100 shares to you at the strike price anytime before expiration. But they won't sell it to you if the stock price is going up. They only sell it to you if it's going down drastically. This is why we sell puts when you think the stock is going to go up. Okay, now take note of this. You must have the cash to buy 100 shares of that stock in your account, and this amount is called the collateral. Here's an example, and we'll go over multiple examples so you can really understand this thoroughly. Collateral example, it says selling a put with a strike of $5. The collateral that you'll need is the strike, the $5 times 100 shares, because you'd be forced to buy 100 shares at $5. So it would cost you $500 in total. Let's get to a more real world example. And let's look here. If you were to look at BBIG, like a stock with the lower stock price of $3, right? And remember, when you sell puts on Robinhood, you want to go to sell and you want to go to put. And you pick a date up top. If you're on Webull, then you go to options, and then you will scroll all the way down and make sure that you're on puts, right? And let's keep scrolling down here and let's take a look. If you're on Webull, make sure that you would immediately be on buy, click it over to sell, and then you'd be in the selling puts type of area. Okay, let's look here at Robinhood. Notice I've highlighted some of these for you just so you can see that we're going to talk about each one of these. This orange square or rectangle up here and these blue ones down here. And let's keep it going. So we're looking at a BBIG. The stock right now, at the time that I took this screenshot, was $3.07. With that being said, you might consider to sell a put with a lower strike, right, than the current stock price, because you expect the stock to go up if you're selling a put generally. So you would pick a stock price or a strike price that is lower than the current share price, right? So now what would happen is you would have to then, or you would then get a credit right into your buying power of $34. Your break even is $266 and your maximum loss is $266. Let's break down where these numbers come from, because remember, I want you to really thoroughly understand this. And you may have to watch this a few times, but all of the information that you'll need to completely understand where all of these numbers are coming from are coming up now. So your collateral, remember, this is the strike price times 100. This is the money or the cash needed in order for you to be able to sell a put. So if we're selling this BBIG, $3 strike, because we don't expect it to go lower than that, right? We expect it to go up if we're selling a put. Then we're going to need the strike price, which is that $3 times 100, because we would be forced, if it didn't go our way, to buy BBIG, 100 shares of them at that $3. But we get paid for taking on that risk, and we get paid $34. So in this case, you put up $300, and then you get paid $34 in cash. Now, I want you to think about collecting interest on anything. If you put $300 into a bank, if you put $300 into anything, really a high interest savings account or whatever, you will never receive a $34 credit on $300. So this is why people take this risk of, okay, I'm willing to own 100 shares of BBIG in this example, so I can take the chance to get a $34 credit. It's like having dividends, but a high rate of dividends. But let's see where these numbers come from. So we said this, the collateral that you need in order to be able to do this is that $3 strike times 100 shares, because you need $300 to sell this put, to sell BBIG puts, and then you'll collect that $34. So now that brings us to some interesting points. The $34 is the premium that we're looking at in this case, right? And just so you can go back and see where did $34 come from, take a look at this. The $3 put, the $34 premium. If we would have sold the $2.5 put or strike, we would have got $13 in premium. But we chose the $3 put. We're taking on more risk, meaning that it's more likely that this will get down to $3 than it will get down to $2.50. So let's keep it going. Let's take a look at where this break even comes from. The $266. Your collateral is $300. This is what you would need basically to be able to sell this put. But you're going to collect $34 immediately. So if you think about it, if you put $300 up and then you collect a positive of $34, you're really in the game for $266, because $300, your collateral, minus the premium that you just got back, right, after locking your collateral up, is $266. So $266 is all you could lose. So you wouldn't even lose your entire your entire premium, but this is if the stock went to zero, which generally doesn't happen often. Okay, so now let's check this out. Our break even, and let me X out of this a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Notice our break even is $2.66. Where did this break even come from? Because remember, in our example, BBIG is $3. You would be forced to buy 100 of them at $3. So you'd be in it for $300. And if you minus that 34, then that means you're really in it for $2.66. So if you had to buy all of those shares for $2.66, then you would be at a point where you're basically breaking even. It canceled out the $34 that you just picked up. And if it went lower than $2.66, then you would start to be buying BBIG shares for $3, and then that $34 premium wouldn't make up for it, and you would be at a loss. Now, let's keep it going. This is why you buy them when you think the stock is going to go up, not down. So let's keep it going. When to sell put options. When should you do it? After your research leads you to believe that the stock has a high chance of rising, right? Or if you are okay with buying 100 shares at the strike price anyway. So let's say that, and let me just reiterate that because I want to just really nail this point down. If you research a stock and it leads you to think the stock is going to rise, you can sell puts and collect premiums, right? This is what the billionaires and the people with trillion dollar companies do. If you are okay with holding 100 shares at the strike price, so if ever in your life where you feel as though, you know what, I want to buy 100 shares or something. So let's think about that. BBIG in our example is let's say it's $3, right? Let's say you were willing to buy 100 of them at $3. Then, you know what? You could just sell a put. And if you were to sell a put, then you would collect the premium immediately. So then what could happen here is if the stock started to go up, then you'd keep the premium, and then you would also keep your collateral. It would be freed up after the expiration. So you go with short expirations. Notice that I have this 128 expiration, right? Shorter time frames. You don't want to be locked into these for a long time because you give yourself a higher chance of losing. Okay, so now let's check this out. When will your collateral be free? After the expiration date. So this is a tip again. You want to avoid further out expirations, especially if you're just getting into this, right? And you want to just collect money like that. So then let's go back up here and let's see our examples. So right here, we're looking at 4 puts. Let's say that we wanted to buy 100 shares of this. And we say, we could buy 100 shares of this, but you know what? How about I just sell a put instead of buying at 100 shares and then put my collateral up because I expect the stock to go up anyway. So then basically I will put my collateral for the $20 put up, and then I would collect $51 in cash immediately. So then if the stock kept going up, then I get to keep the cash and I get to keep my collateral. But if the stock went down and it went way under my strike, and in this case it says 1949, if it broke under there and significantly under there, what would happen is I would then be forced to buy, or someone would sell me the shares, 100 shares at $20. And I couldn't refuse because I got into the contract and I locked my collateral up. So I can't get out of the deal. So this is the selling put options class. If you need to rewatch it so you can get ready for the quiz that's coming, then go ahead and do so. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And you know what? Let's get this money, family. If you can't handle the heat, you know what time it is. Take care.